everyone, I'm Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and it's Thursday, coming to the end of the week, and this is my first week of doing the lives, pretty much 6 lives this week, 1 each day, and then taking Sunday off to be with the family. And I'm going to be trying to do this each week, and it's been tough because I'm not used to the schedule of this and trying to fit other things in. I have a full-time job as well, and also I'm painting things every day, and I have pick-up delivered from my store, and I also have drop-off of items. So the pick-up is anything that I have for sale. I have on my website, julieseverythingtreasures.com, and for drop-off I am also looking for anything that you would generally drop off at a thrift store. While they're closed right now, I'm asking for people that are in my area, which is Chilliwack in BC, Canada, on the west coast of Canada. And if you're local to my area, you can drop off donations to me instead of the thrift store while they're closed right now, and I'd appreciate that. So yes, it's been quite busy this week, and this is the first week of just getting into that routine of doing almost a live, pretty much 6 lives a week. So on my Thursday and then continuing on my Friday, I will be doing mostly pieces of furniture or certain painting techniques, anything that kind of is not a quick little craft. This is more of an in-depth thing. Hi Eli, how you doing? And this is going to be painting different pieces of furniture and different techniques of painting, and I'll be starting them on a Thursday and hopefully finishing them on a Friday with you. And if I don't get a chance to finish them on a Friday, I will certainly finish them on my live on Saturday. If I am finished, you're tired? Me too. I was just saying that I've been doing a live every day this week, so I'm getting a little tired, but it was the first week, so I'll get into the routine of that. Anyways, if I'm not finishing a piece of furniture on a Saturday, I will generally be trying to do my Saturday lives as just a weekend wrap up of going over what we did through the week, finishing and just showing you the items that I've finished if you haven't already seen them, and what's coming in the following week, and anything else that is basically going on with Julie's Everything Treasures, and just doing a wrap up and seeing how you guys are doing. If you have any questions and if you want me to do anything in particular, we can discuss what we'll be doing the week ahead. So that will be my Saturdays. So as I say, Thursdays, hey Mark, how you doing? Thursdays hi Denise, I'll be starting on a piece of furniture or something like that and finishing it on a Friday. So here I have, this is it's a trunk that already came with legs. It's got some amazing rust coming through, which I shellacked. It's a metal, so it's kind of a trunk, but suitcase size on legs. And then also I have got a second suitcase, which I'll try and bring up here so you can see it. Is a vintage kind of style of suitcase, and what is absolutely amazing for this one is, if I can kind of do it, it comes with everything. It's even got the hangers that used to I don't know how it used to go. I think it used to maybe go flat out, but it's even got the hangers, which I obviously won't be using, but I think I'm going to keep it with it in case someone wants to buy it as basically a vintage piece that has got everything inside. So the inside, I will be cleaning it up, the inside completely, but it has got everything, you name it, it's got it in there. So that's kind of quite amazing for a piece like this. But right now I'm going to be focusing on the outside, so I will bring it down here and close it up and move those hangers out the way. But I just thought I'd show you the inside because, hey Marsha, how you doing? Thank you for sprinkling, Denise. Let's see if I can just close this up lovely. It's got quite a knack to it. Pretty sturdy, I guess. Back in the days, I don't know, is this a 60s suitcase? Back in the days, they made them pretty solid, so that's quite the find too. Now these two pieces, I kind of wanted them to go together, but they're a little big to be a set, but I will be displaying them together, so I want to paint them similar. So that's why I'm doing them together. Whether I'll get them both finished and how far I'll get with them, I'm not sure. So I'm going to start with this one and then maybe go over to this one, and we'll do what we can. I'll be doing painting with them. I will be doing distressing, some stamping, some decoupage, some transfer, you name it, we'll be doing it with it. Hey Kathy, how are you doing? So this is kind of all the things we'll be doing, and as I say, it's going to be over starting today, doing some more tomorrow, and maybe, because all of that I have ideas for this, will be maybe even going to Saturday and finish it up. So let me just get started, move that suitcase out of the way. Now I love basically the metal and some of the rust and even the leather strap and everything on this. I do like it, but it is metal and it's shiny. It's a little too rustic for my liking, so I am going to paint it, but I'm going to distress it enough that some of this is going to pop back through, especially the metal with a little of the, as I say, the rust and everything else. And then the inside too is, it's clean, but it is going to need a painting too. So I'm going to be painting inside. And what I'd like from anyone watching, if you can give me some ideas of what maybe, what stamps, decoupage, or just different colour paint or something, what could I do inside to make it, once you lift up the lid, you have that surprise. So any ideas, pop them in the comments. And while I'm saying that, if you have any questions while I'm going ahead, just put in the comments and I will answer them. And if I, unfortunately, I'm just kind of not noticing and I do miss any comments, I will go back through afterwards and have a look and answer any questions you have. And also, because I've had some issues with internet over this last few days, just I think everybody going on the internet, I don't have my laptop in front of me, so I'm just dealing with my phone to see the comments. So bear with me, but you are quite close to me, so I should be able to see them, even though with my glasses I'm still blind. But anyway, we'll go back to that in a minute. I'm going to bring you forward a little, and I'm going to try not to be too much in your way. And I wasn't going to do this, and then I kind of last minute thought, you know what, I am going to do it, because I do like some of this rust, and I didn't want to paint over it and distress back and remember where it was. So I am going to do what I've been doing for a couple of lives now, is just use that Vaseline effect and see if that works. It might not work as well on metal, but it might help a little bit. So I'm just going to basically, this petroleum jelly, Vaseline, I'm just going to put it on a few little bits of the metal and some of the rust areas so that the paint doesn't adhere to it. And when I wipe down with a dry cloth later on, when all the paint is dry, that will show through. So hi Valerie, how you doing? You're from Alabama, wow. So are you on the West Coast or are you on the East Coast? It must be dinner time if you're on the East Coast. I know Denise, even though she's in Canada, she's on the opposite side of Canada to me. So once she kind of watches my lives, she starts them off and then goes makes dinner and then finishes watching them again after dinner. So yeah. So what I'm doing is just with my fingers very easily, basically, I'm just doing a thin line. I don't want big. If you saw my live on, I believe it was Wednesday, on my Craft and Chat live, I used the Vaseline too on a pot, and I did it wide and to put lots on because I wanted a complete look like chippy paint kind of look. This I just want a little edges to not be painted. So yeah, just finished making dinner, I thought so. So I'm just kind of putting it very small in just areas that I don't want the paint to adhere to. Now, as I say, I don't know how well this is going to be. It's been a really good idea for me on anything wood and even on plastic, as I say, that I did on Wednesday, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to be on this metal, so we'll see. I'm kind of liking this here. And I'm just going to go around and just get some areas just to put, basically. So that the paint doesn't go on the top here a little bit too. But I'll be putting a lot of stuff up on here, so I'm not too worried about it. So just on the sides. Once I'm painting, I will show you the sides, but right now I'm literally just rubbing on some Vaseline as I say, in areas that I don't want the paint to adhere to. That's all I'm doing. I'm still here and I am checking the comments. And I'm just going to turn this way so you can see, and I don't have to go all the way around. Alright, there we go, that part is done. So I am not going to paint the legs. I'm not worried if some of the paint goes onto the legs, but they are already white and they're already looking quite rough. I think I'm actually going to distress them a little more and then seal them. So I will do that at some point, but I think I'm going to leave them right now. And as I say, with the rust, I have done shellac first. So I shellac the whole of the outside and the inside. For one thing, on the inside, if there was, I'm very fortunate there wasn't a smell inside, but if there was, you can clean it all out and then spray the shellac and it can get rid of any odours that are in trunks, but unfortunately there wasn't any. But also on the shellac, I sprayed it over where any of the rust is, so that it just stops peeling off and it's protected, so you're not going to get rust on your hands. So I did that too. So the first coat we're going to do is my usual. We're on the, if I can get the English side, the charcoal grey like I generally do. And that's the first layer. No, Marsha, I actually got this piece. It's been in my basement for a few months now, but I actually picked this piece up from Marketplace a few months back, and I was going to paint it a darker colour and just kind of work with it for my basement, because we were going to redo the basement because it's kind of a partially finished basement. Hi Carol, how you doing? And the part that wasn't finished, we were going to finish it off and do it kind of have a wine bar area, rustic wine bar area, and then a gaming area in our basement. Hey Xander, how are you doing? But we just haven't had the time to do that, and this piece was just basically thrown in the corner, and I thought, you know what, I'll find other pieces for the basement in the future, so right now I'm just going to paint it up and make it look better, and I'm going to display it where all my store stuff is, because I have a home store, and if it sells, great, and if it doesn't, great, because I want to kind of paint this up so that it looks good in my store. And as I say, if it sells, wonderful, that's great, but if it doesn't, I'm alright with that too. So I'm going to use a round chalk brush, so I use the round ones. This one I believe is a DIY, I'm not sure. This one's my favourite, I always pick it out, and you can tell because I use it very often. It's got every colour, everything under the sun on it, but I still always go for this one. And as I say, I've got the charcoal. This is just a basically Home Depot brand, and that's just because it's easy for me to get, and that's why I just use that brand, because it's just easy to pick up. So yeah, so we're going to get painting. I'm just going to do a full coat of the charcoal grey and chat to you while I'm doing it. So if you have any questions, pop them in. I'll keep looking, because I know basically just painting is not exactly that interesting, is it? I'm painting over everything, and then I'll distress back, showing a lot of this amazing metal, and especially the corners after. It is cool. When I saw it for sale, I knew I wanted it. And as I say, for my home, I generally do a little bit darker colours because I like natural woods in my home. But I also love the prettiness of the shabby chic too in my store. So in the end, I kind of grabbed it and thought, you know what, I need more stuff for my store right now than I do for my home. So I'm just slapping the paint on in anyway. I want it looking rustic, and it's no big deal to just slap it on. It does not need to be perfect. So any ideas for the inside? Should I do a different colour inside? Shall I do some stamping inside? I don't know. I know I'm going to do something a little different inside, but I haven't decided what yet, and I probably won't decide until I see the outside. And as I say, I'm getting some of this paint onto the legs, but that's okay. I can redo them after, no big deal. So I'm just going to turn this around so that at least you can see what I'm painting. If I can. There you go. That would be a good idea, Marsha, something old inside. What I would love to get, but I don't have one, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get one in time, but because it's kind of luggage type thing, an old map inside I think would look amazing. But unfortunately right now I don't have one of those, but that would be my first choice. Paint all over my arm, I can feel it. That's okay. I'm not painting unless I've got it in my hair, on my arms, everywhere. Generally I do my lives at the end of my day, and I finish it, start to upload it and go home to my family, and quite often laughing and looking at me weird as though you missed a spot, you've got paint on you. Alright, turn it again. Well, I'm not quite sure, I think this is just to keep it sturdy. I'm leaving it on there, no big deal. Just paint over it all the same. I think when the lid's up, it's what holds the lid up so you can leave it up. So I think that's what it was for, when someone put it on there so you can keep it open. And it'll certainly look better when it's all the same colour as everything else. So what's everybody been up to this week? Have you been painting? Have you been home? Are you unfortunately to be one of those frontline workers that you're working actually even harder? What's everyone been up to this week? I fortunately can, I have a little place that I rent and I sell and paint and everything out of, and I can do my full-time job out of there, which is here, and I can do my painting. So my life actually didn't change that much, even though I have not been out to pick up any supplies. But unfortunately my husband, he is one of those frontline workers. He's in security of a store, and he's had to deal with all kinds of things, of people being quite frustrated. Turn it around, last side I think, and then just the top. One thing, if you are selling items that you paint, if there is actual natural rust on it, make sure you have that in your description, and if anyone's buying it, that they know that there is natural rust on it. So buyer, kind of beware, because you never know in the future what's going to happen with the rust, whether it'll... I've done everything I can for it to not spread more, but you have to tell them. Quite often my pieces don't have rust on them, but I do have pieces that are heavily rusted with a paint technique. This one actually came with rust on it, so if I do, I will be displaying it to sell, but I will be making sure everyone knows that is real rust, it's not a paint technique. And just saying that one time I did a bucket and I put a paint technique of rust on it, and the lady was just, she transferred me the money and was just picking up the piece from my doorstep. I wasn't there. So she took it, and when the next day she said it was beautiful, but she didn't believe there was a rust on it, and she went and bought something that had rust on it. And I said, well, there's no rust on it, that's a paint effect. And she was just blown away, she thought it was real rust. So I think that's one of my most proud moments of a paint technique, that she actually thought it was rust, even though thankfully she didn't give it back or not take it. But yeah, you know you've done something good when they actually think it's rust. just painting the top here. You probably can't see it because it's a little bit high up, but I won't be long. When I'm doing the actual detail of the top, I will have it down so you can see it. I like to put this grey coat onto as an undercoat. For one thing, when I distress through, you'll be able to see it. Secondly, it covers nicely without being, I don't like black, I like a darker grey rather than a black is a little too out there. And also, if you're painting anything that's shiny or metal, plastic, anything like that, your first coat is always better if you do it quite thin and let it cure and let it dry. And then your other coats on top, that'll be your actual colour, will do better over longevity of time. That this coat isn't important for the look, but it's very important for how long it lasts when you do paint on something shiny. It's not going to look dry in all the places because anywhere I put the Vaseline, as I've said before, anywhere I put petroleum jelly, that will not dry. So you need to look around, and when you find lots of dry spots, you know the thing is dry, even though in some places it won't look dry. Alright, so that's got the first coat on. I'm going to move it out of the way so I can do the other piece. And what I will do is, while it's drying, it's going to dry overnight, I will be putting the top coat on in the morning tomorrow. I'll do 2 coats, and then by the time tomorrow, Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be doing a live of the next step. But you certainly don't need to see a second day of me putting paint on. So the top coat I will have already put on before the live tomorrow. So now we're just going to slap on some paint on this piece. If I can put it that you can see it. Let's see. Can you see it here? Yes, you can. I'll just move it a little bit. And I'm literally going to be putting paint everywhere on this piece, okay? So I'm not going to do any of the Vaseline, I'm just painting it. There's no actual cool rust on this one. This was given to me by my grandma a few months back, and she kept saying to me, "You said you were going to make something with that suitcase," and I never got around to doing it, so now I can finally show her when it's finished. Hey Debbie, how you doing? Even paint the handle. You want, the more it's cohesive on the outside colour, the more I find it's trendy for today. If you did like a paint colour for the suitcase and then a different colour for the handle and a different colour, it wouldn't sell. So try and keep it all the same, and that's what would sell and is more in. Thank you, Debbie. That's so nice of you to sprinkle. This won't be so bad for the painting. I don't have to worry as much because it's got quite the, it's shiny, but it's also matte. So this colour's going to go on quite nicely. But I think it's going to take quite a few top coats of the white in the long run, because it's just soaking it into the grooves. It's the first time I've actually painted something with so much like texture in the plastic. So yeah, I think the top coat's going to take quite a bit of paint. Oh, that's nice, yummy. Yeah, today is my day where I stay here at work until 8 o'clock. I work, actually I got here at 9 o'clock this morning, and I'll be here until 8 o'clock because I'm doing my full-time job as well as painting and everything else. I do those long hours on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Friday. So I'm literally, my dinner's going to be, unfortunately, a microwave meal. But the one thing that's great about microwave meals is the plastic container afterwards makes a great pot for your paint to mix paint with. That's the only good thing about them. Actually, I just thought I won't be having a microwave meal because I have leftovers. I just remembered in my fridge here. I made a chicken lasagna yesterday and I had leftovers and I took them. So that's what I got tonight. So, oh, that's even better. Better than microwave meal. It's always good when you got leftovers. Sometimes they actually taste better the next day. Especially when you're doing something spicy. I find that always tastes better the next day. Oh, try not to drop this or else I'll paint everywhere, but I'm going to turn it and get the other side. Turn again. It's not the most interesting video, but tomorrow we'll be doing all the detail on this. And even though I could maybe do this and not show you, when I'm doing things like this, I like to show from beginning to end. I like to describe or show you the prep work, especially different woods, textures or materials, so that you know what ways I clean them, which ways I prepare them for the actual detail. I mean, it's okay learning how to put a transfer on and learning how to do a stencil or getting inspiration for beautiful colours. Hi Kieran, how you doing? But if you don't prepare the piece first and you don't know how, then you won't get started. You'll get it all together and then just never get started. There's been many projects in my past where I've seen a video and I got everything that I saw and everything, and then I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start, and then I had to start kind of watching people that hi Sheila, how you doing? Watch people that actually started from beginning to end, and once I got the cleaning and how to do things, The end part is easy, that's just whatever you want to decorate, that's inspiration. But the cleaning part, that's technical, you need to know that. So even I used to think, well, how do you get started? How do you do it? Thank you for sprinkling there, that's really nice. Anyone that's on, if you could like and comment and spread the word, would be really great for me right now. As you know, all businesses need a little bit jumping up and helping out, especially small businesses. And this business right now, I am selling things. I'm doing curbside pickup, but my main focus right now is just building my online presence. Hi Melissa, how are you doing? So that's what I'm doing while the world is in some issues. We'll go into more details on that, but while it is, I'm building my online presence. So I'll do this end, and then the bottom part I'll just do afterwards. You don't need to see that. And we're almost coming to the finish on this for now. So Kieran, I don't know if you're still on there, you popped on. Kieran's actually someone I went to primary school with, that I knew in primary school and in high school. So he's back in England. And my question to you, Kieran, is, isn't it late? Shouldn't you be in bed? I guess you've been maybe napping all day and now you can't sleep. But it's good to see you. It's nice. We did in Facebook a few years ago, it was the school got together for a reunion and they collected everyone in Facebook. I unfortunately couldn't go to the reunion, so that was a shame, but travelling all the way back to England just for a reunion is not something I could do at that time. But everyone kept in touch on Facebook, so I've got a lot of friends from school from England that I just see what their lives are like and what they're getting up to. And if you know me quite well, I do miss England, especially my family. So it's nice to see what they're up to. And I had a friend that I was 6, 7, something like that. I had a really good friend, Miranda, and she moved away. And I never heard of her since. And then just a year or two ago, she found me on Facebook. And we've been chatting since and been friends since. And we were, as I say, we were friends when we were 6 or 7 years old for a couple of years, best friends. And I always wondered what she was doing and what she was up to. And it was even more amazing because once she read on my blog, and if you read on my blog on my website, julieseverythingtreasures.com, I have a blog section. She read my blog and she said, even though we were friends at 6 and 7, she didn't realise we were actually born in the same town, and then we both moved away from that town, and then we both moved to the town that actually we became friends. So small world, even though England is quite small, but it's very unusual to have someone that you were born in the same town, your family moved around, and you ended up being friends in a different town, and now we're friends on Facebook. And yeah, she found me and we found each other after all these years. I was going to say I won't tell you my age, but yeah, I'm 48 years old, so it's nice to kind of catch up with those school friends that you've known from years, and just see what's going on in the world in England, because I'm always curious, right? Anyway, I have the grey on. Obviously, when it comes to painting furniture, thank you Sheila, that's really nice of you. I very much appreciate that. It's going to take a while to dry. When it's pieces of furniture like this, I don't like to rush it. I like to take my time. So I'm going to let it cure overnight. In the morning, I will put on the top coats, so you don't have to just watch me just basically boringly paint again. And we'll do some more interesting things on these. And if you can put in the comments some inspiration of that first piece, if I should I'm doing white on the outsides of both of them, with some other stuff on them. But on this first one here, should I go white inside? Shall I do a bright colour inside? Shall I do some decoupage inside? Maybe put in the comments what you think I should do, inside this one, because I haven't quite thought what I want to do inside yet, but I will be painting the inside because it definitely needs it. Anyway, if you're watching on replay, put in #replay, and if you've got any questions, put them in the comments there, and I will answer any of your questions. And also, as I say, if you've got any inspiration of colour to go on the inside of the first piece, put them in the comments, and we will continue this again tomorrow. And as I say, each week on a Thursday, Friday, and maybe Thursday, Friday and Saturday, I'll be doing more furniture pieces, more techniques and bigger items. But I will basically be doing lives each day, 6 days a week. It's going to be tiring, but I'll get used to it. So Monday is my thrift haul day. Tuesday is my trash to treasures, so anything that you would usually throw out. Wednesday is my chat and craft time, so we're just doing a craft or something from Pinterest or something crafty and chatting away. I chat away anyway, right? And then Thursday, Friday and Saturday will be a piece of furniture, and if that piece of furniture doesn't take Saturday as well, the Saturday will just be a Saturday wrap up and just a chat of what's going on, what we've done this week and what will be going ahead next week. And I mentioned my blog. If you haven't read my blog, go onto my website, julieseverythingtreasures.com. There's a blog section. Have a read of that. It's an interesting read, different topics. Also, if you want to see what's for sale, or the items I've made or picked up, treasures I found, all my treasures that are for sale are on my website, julieseverythingtreasures.com. And also, if you are in my area and you have any thrift store items that you'd usually drop off at the thrift store, please can you just maybe drop them off to me, and that would be great because I'm looking for them. Okay, that makes more sense, Kieran. Anyway, it's good to not see you, but hear from you and what you're up to in your life. So that's always fun to get to know what people from your past are getting up to these days and catch up. I always enjoy that. So everyone, thanks for watching. I appreciate all that. It's very nice of you, and we'll continue with this again tomorrow. So pop back 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you again, and everyone, be safe.